Welcome to Glazed Over, a podcast for contemporary ceramic studios. We're your hosts, Jessica Cowan
and Vanessa Steele. You're invited to join us in a creative conversation about life in the arts and entertainment industry.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was fantastic. I went to Texas to visit my grandparents. How was yours?
It was fantastic. I stayed home. I worked the day before and the day after, but having the day off and eating all day is one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah, we love that. Were you busy around Thanksgiving business-wise?
You know, Absolutely. The kids were out of school for the whole week here at our schools. And so it was really busy up to Thanksgiving. And then Black Friday was busy. And even Small Business Saturday was pretty huge here. How about you?
Our busiest day was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, which was really surprising. It operated as if it were a Saturday, and we were all like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I noticed a
um,
big uptake the week before Thanksgiving. People were coming in to make projects, mugs, and little plates to take home to Thanksgiving. So, yeah, we had a
oh
lot the
yeah,
week before, people making gifts because they were going home to visit. So that was a nice surprise too.
oh yeah, I love that. Well, my nice surprise was getting to come back and immediately have a fun conversation with Kathy from the Crafty
Ah,
Chica. I love her so
the best,
much.
the best.
Yeah, she
Yes,
is
yeah.
full of energy. And tell everybody what we got to talk about today.
So we talked about branding. We know Kathy is the Crafty Chica, and she was a newspaper columnist. She's a content creator. She's an artist, an author. She has such amazing positivity. Like it just like I always say, it overflows. I'm actually holding one of her mugs. I'm a big fan of Kathy's, so it was super fun to talk to her and get to know her a little bit better. And she has some really great ideas.
Yeah, we love Kathy. She got down and dirty with us on all things trademark. So that was a big deal.
Right.
If you are interested in doing trademarks, she might have some information for you and just brand building in general. She's a storyteller, so you'll love to hear everything that she has to say. So we hope you had a great Thanksgiving and have a listen.
Hey everyone, Des Toll here from Biscuit Imports with some exciting news. We've got your studio's new MVP. Say hello to the Emerald paintbrushes. Durable, smooth, and made to thrive in busy studios. Because your tools should work as hard as you do. Check them out now at biscuitimports.com.
Feel like a juggler at your ceramic studio? Between classes, bookings, and admin tasks, those pins keep flying. Let Occasion help you put down the act and get back to creating. Visit occasion.act to discover your peace of mind.
As a small business owner, saving money is key to running a successful studio. When you join the Contemporary Ceramic Studio Association, you unlock exclusive discounts with industry suppliers, saving you on everything from bisque to glazes and clay tools. These discounts could easily cover the cost of your membership, and then some. Don't miss out on the savings that can help boost your bottom line and keep your shelves stocked with high-quality supplies. Learn more about our membership discounts at www.ccsaonline.com.
We've met a couple of times, but you maybe don't remember me. I think we met the first time at Cerama Jam last year, which was really fun. But I'm a big admirer, so my name is Jessica.
Thank you.
So I'm a big
so
fan of
excited
yours.
to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I
Oh,
feel
of
like we're
course.
fangirls. We're like the fangirls of Crafty Chica
Yeah.
that can
Oh,
interview her. It's
so
so fun.
sweet.
I'm also a huge fan of your daughter, by the way. So just, man in the
Oh,
moment.
thank you. Yes,
So-
she's here for Thanksgiving and she goes home, I think, on Wednesday. So, yeah,
Nice.
she's been here all weekend.
Oh, that's fun. A mother's love.
Yeah.
So nice to have her.
Yes.
Yes, she's
Wish
a
her.
huge vibe. So I love her so much. So thank you
Thank
for giving
you.
her to us, to the world. Thank
Awesome.
you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that. So and you guys met? Are you guys friends,
Yeah, we
Vanessa?
met
Yes,
at Pottery Camp. She was making these cute little scarves the last time I saw her. I think I actually
Yes.
got a mug from her from Pottery Camp. It's like the matte black with the shiny black. And we've met
Yes.
here and there. I'm a
Yes.
big fan, so
Uh-huh.
I'm always like, there's Kathy, there's Kathy.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, Kathy, you're pretty much a legend here,
And everybody
oh,
loves
you're
you.
so funny.
Okay, well, tell those of us who don't know you a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, my brand is Crafty Chica, and in 2026, I'm celebrating 25 years
Wow.
of having my business. And it started with a website. I was working as a newspaper reporter at the Arizona Republic. I had a nationally syndicated craft column, and I started Crafty Chica as a passion project to share Latino-centric craft tutorials and trends. And then I got into ceramics because I was working with Duncan Enterprises at the time. And so every time I would go to work on my Crafty Chica product line, they would let me work on ceramics. And it just became part of my business of designing pottery for Bisque Imports and doing illustration work, writing books, novels, craft books, just sharing inspiration. That's the whole thing. Is I just love to share positivity through creativity. And I love the ceramic arts industry world. They've been so supportive, so much creativity, and I just love exchanging ideas and also entrepreneurship. Because I've had my business and I have so many different branches of my business, I love to share that experience with studio owners to see what they can pick and choose to use to help their studios turn a good profit.
Okay. I have 5 million questions to ask you, so
Right?
I would so gladly have an hour to spend together.
I know that was a mouthful of an answer.
Yeah, right.
That's great.
Okay, my first question is though, was there ever like a moment or a project that you fell in love with the ceramics itself though? I know you said that you started working with Duncan, but was there a moment that you were like, this is it?
All along, I've always loved ceramics, but growing up, it was one of those things where you need a kiln and you need access to clay, and it just always seemed out of reach outside of school. So I had it tucked away that this is something I want to explore. And of course, when I was at Duncan Enterprises, every opportunity I had to make something there, I would go for it. But I think the one thing that sold me was I painted a platter for the holidays, and I just went full on Crafty Chica all over it, like maximalist style. And I took it to a family event for the holidays and it disappeared. Someone took it in my family.
Wow.
And for years, I was like, which one of these family members took this platter? Come to find out, it was my Nana. Because when we were
Ah,
packing up her things, she had it, and I'm like, okay, she can have
We
it,
forgive you.
but that's when I realized the power of creating something handmade that is functional, because she used this platter when her friends would come over, like she would show it off to them, and it just really made me realize how special it is to create something, like that's heavy and shiny, and it has a story behind who made it, especially when you gift it to someone and it's functional and they can drink from it or serve from it or whatever it happens to be. And that's when I was like, okay, I want to go full on into this and do more and learn more. So credit to my Nana.
sweet. Did you get the platter back? Is it back with you?
you know, I let her keep it and I never did get it back. And after she passed away, I don't know what happened to it. I didn't want to be like, where's my platter?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a feeling maybe it ended up in Goodwill or something,
Oh, I
but
bet someone has
it,
it. Someone has it.
yeah, somehow, some way. But I think of her all the time. And
Mm.
it could be any, Beyonce could have bought a platter of mine, but it's the one that my Nana stole
Yeah.
to keep in her collection for her friends that really hits my heart the most.
I love that. That's wonderful.
That is the magic of ceramics. Speaking of the
Yes.
holidays, I have heard that you have a line in Walmart right now, which is not what we're talking about,
I
but
do.
congratulations. That's
Yeah, thank
amazing.
you so much. We could use it to wrap our ceramic gifts
We
with.
could.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's so
Yes.
exciting. But I mean, like, that's all part of what happens whenever you build this international brand and this huge following and years and decades of hard work. So, like, that's amazing.
Yes.
And okay, so you've done this for decades. Here you are. Do you recommend doing it? Do you recommend taking the journey building the brand?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think most importantly is you have to think of what is the end result you want to have. So for me, I was working at the newspaper writing about movies and concerts that were coming through, and gift items, doing gift guides. So I was tuned into a national level of thinking. So when it came to launching Crafty Chica, I did not think local, I thought national. And I built a website where anyone in the world could look at it and find something educational, inspirational, a story that moved them, just something like that. So off of that website, I was able to branch out to books, licensed design, handmade items, workshops, signature retreats, just a little bit of everything. So, what I would suggest, like if you're a studio owner and you want to have a national presence, which is really good because that's where you can get featured on, different national TV shows or media, you have to really come up with at least 3 different national angles. So then we go into, so what is a national angle? Well, you could look at your studio and say, how can I make this a destination spot in my community? So if you have say a studio in Phoenix, Arizona, what is it? How do you get your studio on the list of things to do when you're in Phoenix, Arizona? What is that hook about your business? We have over 4,000 choices of things to paint, home of this something, the mural to stand in front of. Like, just what are some elements that you could put as a hook that only you are known for, that makes it special to be able to get on a national list of as a destination place to go when people visit your town? That's what I did with Crafty Chica, was just thinking of the national angle and then paring it down to the local angle of, I was born in Phoenix, 3 generations. Like, find all those little bits and pieces that make you unique and special. And that's what makes your business special.
That sounds great. You talked about content localization and being national and stuff. For all your marketing materials, are you keeping that like multicultural in what you do, your branding, or is there a specific market that you're mostly?
You know what? I realized that I have several different audiences and I have a different outlet for each one of them. It is not one size fits all because I'm a hyper creative person. And there's a lot of other people like me, male, female, all ages, who love to do a variety of things. I'm 3rd generation Mexican American, so there's the Latino angle. I'm a woman owned business, so there's entrepreneurship with it. So I find these different communities that I belong to and am devoted to, and I craft a different message for each one of those that is authentic and relatable. So looking at each of us, we're all multifaceted. And if you can nail down at least 3 communities that can be your audience, that is so helpful. And then take turns reaching out to those 3 communities.
Great advice. That's really great advice.
Yeah, I think that is really great advice. And I'm wondering if in the beginning, did you find yourself focusing more on one community or really dividing your time into a little bit here, a little bit there, and then just starting back over a little here, a little there?
Well, in the
It's hard to
beginning,
split your time.
Yeah.
yes. Well, my main focus when I launched Crafty Chica online was reaching other people who liked Latin culture and having a home base for them to find creativity and inspiration. Because I realized that the arts and crafts industry is $43 billion and it was not serving the Latino community at all. So I thought, okay, well, let me put it aside and take what's trending and give it my own spin. And little did I know that's what would take off. But after I did that and I populated my site with articles, which I recommend every studio should have a website with a few stories of, like, how to paint a piece, how to have a successful experience in our studio, like how just these different articles on there that you can have headlines and pictures for. Once I nailed down those articles on my site, then I reached out to like Yahoo News, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, USA Today, and I sent them press release that said $43 billion craft industry, is, this many Latino population, and they're not being served. So this website has this many articles, and it just got picked up, and it got put like all over these sites wrote about it. So you find that hook and you go out that way. So I went out with like a targeted focus on national and Latino culture. And as my brand developed, that's when I was able to add in these other communities, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a lot of entrepreneurship from men and women from all different ages and backgrounds who love what I'm doing and want to know how they can do it and adjust it to their own brand. So then, just the handmade industry of, making things that are not store-bought, but handmade. So after I nailed down my main focus, the meat and potatoes, I was able to add in these other elements. And every year at the beginning of the year, I will look at my brand and say, okay, what 3 areas do I want to focus on this year? And that way it helps me stay focused, because it's easy to get distracted and go in all these different directions. Mm-hmm. What is the main goal? I want to bring in this much extra income this year. Okay, how can I do that with what I have that's new and exciting? What audiences would appreciate this and be excited about this, so it's a win-win? So you can just, again, going back to 3 topics of what's important and the end goal you want from them.
Are you spending hours managing studio bookings and class registrations? Occasion helps ceramic studios save an average of 3 days a week in admin time. With clever workflows, instant confirmations, and seamless class management, you can focus on what matters, creating amazing experiences for your customers. Join successful studios like Clay Cafe Avalon, who've trusted Occasion since 2016. Visit occasion.app and schedule a demo today. Mention Glazed Over Podcast for personalized setup support.
Hey podcast pals, ready to upgrade your brush game? Meet the Emerald paintbrushes from Biscuit Imports, your new go-to brushes built for daily studio life. They're strong, smooth, and totally studio-proof, made to handle soaking, scrubbing, and all the painter chaos. Available in singles and multi-packs, they're not just new, they're way better. Head to biscuitimports.com and get your hands on the brushes your studio's been waiting for.
Talking about your trends, you're looking at the beginning of the year, you're looking at, where you want to send, where your trends are. What is your great resource for trending things? What do you look at for trends? I mean, you're obviously a trend. That's something we all look to you, but then what are you looking to?
Well, definitely TikTok is a lot. I find a lot of things. I can tell immediately when something's taking off for the season. And sometimes it's even ahead of the curve a little bit. But I think back to like the hot cocoa bombs, even back as far as the cake pops, like seeing those and then making them. And people are like, that's weird. What is that? And then as soon as you see it on Instagram, it's like, it's out. Everybody's doing it. So I do look a lot at TikTok, and you can just put in like trending holiday ceramics and go to the filter and switch it to the past 6 months, and you'll see everyone's content of what they're making for holiday ceramics in the last 6 months. So that way, Another thing is I subscribe to Pinterest, has a monthly email that they send out with trends. And also I look at all of our local boutiques in downtown Phoenix. They're run by, people who that's their job, is to learn trends so they know what to carry and sell in their store. So I can look and see and think, how can I do my own version of this? How can I turn this into a pottery project? So it's just a matter of like keeping your eyes open for new things, and not necessarily always feeling like you have to jump on a trend, but seeing how it can fit organically into your studio, your customers, how you can make it easy and relatable for them.
Yeah, I like going to thrift stores too, like the way that they style those little, you can really tell what's kind of coming back into trend. Those are all really good tips and tricks, Yeah,
absolutely. Like even this holiday season are looking like, if you have a lot of extra product, like I had these extra mugs and planters that hadn't sold. So there's this big trend this season, last season for the holidays. It's like the jewelry trees where it's like you put a foam base and then you cover it with little
Topiary,
beads and
yeah.
baubles and jewelry and earrings. So I used all of those mugs to make these holiday trees and people love them.
So
So
cute.
it's just like finding ways to use what you have combined with what's trending so that you can create a fun workshop with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to make $1 off of whatever.
Yeah, yeah. There's always a
Absolutely.
way to spin it. Like, you know, I look at the excess supplies and I'm like, this is money. This started
Hmm.
as money. So
Right.
let's turn it back into money. Like double. How do I double up on what I spent on this? And that forces me to like, focus on what I have and then turning that over and then using that to buy new things that I can create. So really take a look at what you have. Don't give up on it. Find a new
Right.
spin for that excess inventory.
Absolutely. I feel like we all have that here and there.
Uh-huh.
Next thing you know, you're making like, fairy house gardens. It's a whole thing.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's how that
It
gets started.
pushes your creativity. It really pushes your creativity.
I know we didn't talk about this in the beginning, but I'm dying to know, how did you come up with the name Crafty Chica? Was that something you named yourself or someone else named you that?
Yeah, well, it goes back to it was the year 2000, and I was on this message board called Get Crafty, and everyone had a handle. And it was my original was Crafty Chica AZ. And I was working at the newspaper. I was on deadline for writing a story. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a website. And I just put in craftychica.com and it was available. So I bought it. And then that weekend I went, I worked on building the website. And yeah, now it's a registered trademark that
I
I
was going to ask
have.
you, is it trademarked?
Yes, yes. I got the registered trademark. It really comes in handy because over the years, like I don't mind if people use the name as their username for whatever platform, but anyone who's trying to start a business using that name,
Mhm.
I have to reach out and send a cease and desist, or I can get a cut of their profits or their profits because they're making money off of a name that
Your
I
name.
own. So that is a big thing. If you are really serious about your business name or your business, like definitely get that trademark because it will come in handy.
Would
Can
you
you
say the
talk to
same
us a
goes?
little bit about that process of getting the trademark?
Yes. So I went through LegalZoom because I had no idea how to do it. And I went through LegalZoom and they walked me through the whole process.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
expensive, because,
Of course.
yeah, it's expensive because there's different classifications that you want to get. It's not, each classification has a fee. So is it giftware? Is it unpainted goods? Is it supplies? So you have to like look at, and that's what they really help me with. And this is not a commercial for LegalZoom. I'm just sharing like this is the resource I
Hmm.
use. But I like that they were able to guide me along the process because I did try to do it myself and I did it wrong and I lost out on hundreds of dollars because I did
Mm.
it incorrectly. And they are savage at the trademark
Yeah.
office. Like there is no empathy for what you're going through. So that's why the
Sorry.
next time I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go through LegalZoom. Now I know other attorneys in small business that I can hire to help me, like when it's time to renew it. And so I can go through them to renew it, or if I had a second one that I wanted to do. But yeah, don't let not knowing how to do it stop you from doing it. Figure it out
Hmm.
because if you're really a serious business person, you're going to want to get that trademark.
I'm
And how
surprised to
often
learn
are
you
you
have to
renewing it?
renew your trademark.
Yeah, how often are you renewing it?
It's every 7 years.
Okay.
Oh, that's way
Yeah.
more often than I thought you'd have
Yeah.
to
And
renew.
it's
And I'm
another
thinking like 50
process. It's like,
years.
yes, it's like a
Wow.
whole other process that I'm not going to
Ew.
do it on my own. I'm like, again, I'm going to hire someone to walk me through it. There's some things in business where it is worth paying that extra money to have a
Yeah.
professional help you. Definitely, this is one of them, at
There
least
you
in
go.
my opinion.
Mhm. And so the trademark, is that international or just national, or
As
is
far
it
as
two
I know,
different
it's
things?
national. It's
Yeah.
as
Okay.
far as I know, it's national. And even if another business like registers Crafty Chica in their city, the federal trademark overrides any of the
Hmm.
small ones.
Okay.
Not only that, any form of it. So one lady tried to put an S at the end, Crafty Chicas. Nope, the
No.
Crafty Chica, like anything that they try to add a let, because it comes down to if a regular person can confuse that business with your business, that is cause for sending a cease and desist. So it's not about adding a letter, taking away a letter. It's if it causes confusion for the consumer to, confuse your business with another one, then that you have the right to send a cease and desist for it.
And you clearly have done that before, you said.
Yes.
And is
Yes.
that also for your designs? Like, for instance, like your mug or your designs, you can kind of look at your things and say, oh, those are
Yeah.
definitely Crafty Chica designs. Have you had to
Yeah.
trademark any of your designs or anything?
You know what? I haven't. Um, for the most, I haven't run any into, I mean, some issues, like my husband's artwork. There was a company in London that put all his artwork on a CD and sold the
Wow.
CD. And we were able to order the CD and then send him a cease and desist, and they stopped. Um, so that one's a little trickier because you can go through the paperwork, but if they're going to steal it, they're going to steal it. I had an applique patch in Michael's that was like my top seller. And somewhere, I think the manufacturer in China sold the design to Hot Topic, Torrid, a whole bunch of stores, because for like 5 years after, I would see my applique on all of these costumes and I had
Wow.
no way to track it down. So I did put it in my portfolio for my licensing work where I could say, yes, this was in Hot Topic. So, a lot of times, like with Temu or Shein, if they're going to steal it, they're going to steal it. And it's really difficult and frustrating.
To chase it. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Nice.
that sounds tough. So, oof.
Yeah.
When
It
you
comes
do
with the
send those
territory.
letters, do you just have like a template already done up and you just kind of
Well,
plug and
I
play?
do have a general cease and desist, but I customize it
Hmm.
for what they are making, and I put pictures. I will look up what sales they've had so I can see that on Etsy. I can see it on TikTok, where as soon as I list the money part, where I say, I see you've made this much sales using my registered trademark, that's when they're like, okay, I'll stop using it. And they
Yeah.
change it. So, yeah, I do customize it for whoever I'm sending it to.
Yeah, I think this is a really good topic of conversation because we sometimes decide that we're going to make our own samples in our studios using bigger brand work, thinking that it hurts no one and that nothing is ever going to happen. But there are people out there looking. There are times that you're going to receive a
Yeah.
cease and desist. Like it's
Uh
not, one, it's
huh.
not always harmless, but two, there are people looking. Like it's not always consequence free either. So do that at your own risk if you're just gonna go out
Right.
and copy
Yeah,
whatever you see in the
especially
world.
like you have to be careful with licensed images, like
Hmm.
especially of celebrities or any of that. You have to like change it a little bit. And are they going after, it's just, the luck of the draw kind of thing. I
Right.
know the Frida Kahlo Corporation, they will come after people. So if you do a Frida inspired project, you can't call it, don't use the name Frida in your title, that they can search. You could, I say like La Artista or something, but it could have her likeness. So also, I mean, yeah, just a lot of these celebrities, they their licensing is like a conglomerate. Like I had a friend who was doing resin bracelets with movie stars on them. And there was one company that that handled like 5 different celebrities. And
Oh,
so
wow.
she ended up having to pay $2,000 with this to settle it. And she's like, I will never use a celebrity again. And she was just an independent artist, like selling at art fairs. It wasn't like, where she had it online, where, we're building
Right.
something out of it. So it's just kind of like something to be aware of. But it's
Hmm.
Oh,
with everything, even listening to Spotify in your studio. When I had a boutique,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know we aren't allowed to play Spotify in here. So you just really got to read up on everything and come up with your own spin for it. I have so much respect for studio owners and this lane of entrepreneurship because it is a proven scientific fact how creativity is good for your health. And so by owning a studio, you're contributing to the betterment of the community
wow,
by
that's
having
great.
people
And
come in,
mankind.
and mankind, yes. So next time you feel a little down about your business, like just remember that, like you are doing something big and wonderful and needed. And everything can be figured out, like look at what isn't selling, what is selling, what is something new that you can bring in. With my business, I always think I want people to laugh, cry, or say wow. So, like just what is the emotion that you want to evoke, even when you're doing your social media? What is the takeaway? Is it entertaining? Is it educational? Is it inspiring? As opposed to just posting, oh, this Saturday is a paint and sip party. Change it up and say, do you have someone who is addicted to baby reindeer, painting baby reindeers? Have we got the class for you? Like, just add some kind of, sprinkle fairy dust to it to make it a little special, and people will respond to it. Don't be afraid to ask people questions in your posts, and just when you reply in the comments to people, ask them a question in the comments. Try to start a conversation in the comments, because what that does is that will help boost your engagement on that post, especially like in the first few hours that you post it. Pay attention to the comments and then reply back and try to get a little conversation going. So all these little things we can do to help certainly come in handy.
What's your favorite social media platform?
Oh my gosh. I think I love TikTok and Instagram. But you know what I really have putting my heart and soul into that has been paying off a lot is my newsletter, my weekly newsletter. Now,
Okay.
I
Really?
have been pushing everybody. I have a QR code when I do events. Sign up for my newsletter, because that is my most valued audience, because they willingly signed up to get information from me, and I always try to reward them every week. I don't even call it a newsletter. It's like the VIP club, the Crafty Chica
Okay.
VIP club. So in that newsletter, I will give them like a free printable or a special discount, or they get first access to all of my classes. And a lot of times my classes sell out where I don't even need to post them on social media, because they've already
Right.
sold out through my newsletter. And so I've noticed, in full transparency, since I have been focusing on my newsletter, I have been doing less social media,
Okay.
because I've been getting such good feedback and engagement from my newsletter. And I get into it, like I don't just put projects for the weekend, but I'll put like what book I'm reading when I'm listening while
Okay.
I'm painting. I'll put behind the scenes what's on my work table this week. I'll put what movie I saw. Is it worth it to go see it? Because I know that people who signed up for the newsletter probably have a lot of the same interests,
Hmm.
and they love that kind of stuff because it feels more like community. You're creating your own community. So if as we go into 2026, I highly recommend for people to like go into your newsletter, and it's don't be a robot and just send out like, oh, here's our dates, here's our event, here's a picture, but find a way to put more into it, even if it's every other week or once a month. I used to do once a month, and now I do every week, because it
Wow, that's
just,
a lot.
I get, yeah, it's just something I look forward to, and I love the way people respond. I love to see the opens, like what links they clicked on.
Sure.
All of that is so helpful, and then I can take that and then I can apply it to my social media stuff. But that's what the big change for me this past year was, leaning into my newsletter more and social media
Mhm.
less.
So that's one of my 2026 goals is I don't have a newsletter. I have it for my subscription service, but not for my studio. What would you tell me as far as starting a newsletter? Is there like a certain company that you're using to send that out to make it easier?
Um,
And what
I
would be
know.
the thing that you want to include?
Well, like there's a lot of companies out there. So I use MailChimp. I just want easy. Like I
Hmm.
know there are other companies that are more like, a lot of people use Flowdesk, and I just want to do my newsletter and get it out and make it easy for me. So I've been using MailChimp. I've been really happy with it. And I have the app on my phone. It will send me a reminder. Like I'll send out my
Oh,
newsletter, and the next day it will say, okay, resend this to your non-openers. And so then oh, thank you for the reminder. I can click it and resend it to my non-openers. So just remember, like work on your subject lines to make them fun to open again, instead of just, I didn't send one this week because there's so many newsletters going. A lot of people aren't even opening them. So
for the
I'm like,
holiday.
I'm not going to join in that noise. Like well,
Hmm.
everyone's sending it, I'll send mine on a different day. But your subject line, and then some people make them long, some people make them short. So just pick something and include storytelling in it. Like if you say the new pieces that came in, you could say, okay, this is a new piece to our studio. I saw this piece at the convention that we just had, and I knew I wanted to carry it in the studio because there's so many different ways to paint it. And come in and look at the samples, and we'll guide you along. So adding like that little personal element, so people remember that you're a person, you're not a corporation, like you're putting that personal storytelling element into it. Or you could say, what, this customer asked if we could have more monster figurines. Well, guess what? We just got a new case of these in. So, Marcy, if you're out there, we listened to you and
I
we
love
brought
that.
in more monster figurines. So just creating that community,
That's
and
great.
have fun with it. Do your best to have fun with it. Pretend like they're sitting there and you're right here, like doing show and tell. So make it something fun for you to share the behind the scenes and the new things you brought in. Whatever you're excited, if you're excited, they'll be excited too. If you're bored writing it, they'll be bored reading it.
Love that. Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah, that's so true. And people are really looking for that community these
Connection.
days. And I'm seeing kind of
Yes.
that downward trend in social media in the way that we've seen people use it over the last
Yeah.
decade. More and more people are kind of shifting towards, they're looking for something more tight knit, something that feels
Yes.
more connected. And like you're saying, like talking to people like they're right in front of you, like we're all in a group together and you're
Yes.
reading to the town, like that's
Yes.
how
And,
I'm going
and
to write
even
my
like
newsletter.
paying attention to trends, like junk journaling is so popular. We have the Phoenix Junk Journal Club that meets up 2 nights a week. You pay $20 or $10 if you're a repeating person, and they have supplies sit out. And you just come and you sit down and you use their supplies and you work on your junk journal. Okay, spin that to a pottery studio. Maybe it's open paint night, and you put different bisque pieces out that are all the same, maybe like, low, medium, high, and the glazes, and it's open studio. Like you don't need to know anything, just come in and have like a set price for the same piece. And it's like low effort where people can break that barrier of being overwhelmed. Like, oh, what piece do I choose and how do I do it? And it's like, you know what? Pottery Painting 101, open studio, come on in, play with our glazes. Everyone's going to start with this piece. It's like how you put one flat price on it, and maybe it's once a month or twice a month. And because I enjoy going to the Junk Journal Club because I meet new people. I love going in and sitting down and making friends. So maybe it's some kind of night, like an open studio night, and it has a mystery bisque. Like, we don't know what we're going to paint till we get there. And then, there's just so many fun ways that you can host a night that's different from a workshop, but that brings community together.
Yeah, over the summer, my studio tried this program that it was my idea, but I also thought that it could totally fail. So, like, maybe it will be dumb and I'll take responsibility for that. But it was called Pottery and Postcard Exchange. And we made a bunch of pottery pieces because we're in a tourist town. And my forever issue is that they come to town and they don't want to paint because they don't want to pay the shipping fee. And I'm like, damn it.
Right.
So this year I said, here's what we'll do for those people. Be like, hey, why don't you paint a trinket dish and write a little postcard about why you're in town, leave it behind, and you can pick another one and you'll get the postcard from the person who was here before. So it became kind of an exchange where they got to take with them a previous one, open up the previous card, and we had a thing on our website where you could upload it once you got home, and it became a little map of like traveling trinket dishes and postcards.
So cool.
It was really fun. It was really cute.
Leave a dish and take a dish.
It's a leave a dish, take a dish sort of thing. Yes, with like this traveling element added to it for it being the summer, kind of deal. And it was a huge hit, like way more fun than we expected it to be. But because people are looking for that community, at the end of the day, they were like, yeah, I care about why a stranger was also in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and why they painted this little dish. And I'm connected to their story now, and they're connected to mine. And this web, started to weave itself. And maybe one day all of the pottery studios in America will do it, and we'll have like this crazy thing going on.
Great idea.
That would be so fun. That sounds great.
Yes, that is such a brilliant idea because it just like connects strangers.
Right.
That is
that's
so
the point.
Wonderful. Yes. And like another thing, when I had my pottery studio, I would get the Arizona ornaments from Bisque Imports, and I would just have craft paint. Like, they could come in and use craft paint and Mod Podge for the varnish and take it and go, or we could mail it to them. But they loved getting their little Arizona ornament. The people from out of town, they have something for your city or your state that they can use to take. But I love that idea. That is so cool.
So cute.
I can see why it would be so popular.
Yeah, it's, once you get it going and the ball starts rolling, everyone's like, yeah, this is the time. But to your point, like, the little ornaments or something for your state, like, people love that because they love being connected. Even the grumpy people that you don't expect it,
Yes. Yeah, because that's how you make it a destination spot. So, like, hearing that about your studio, I would be like, I want to go to the studio and get the trinket dish from someone. Like, let's go contribute
I would
to it. Like lots of love. Like, I have a friend who has a coffee shop, and she had a lots of love wall. So it makes you want to go there so that you could, put your lock on it and write your thing and get your coffee. Like, some kind of cool little hook that you can promote and go on local TV. I do a lot of local TV here in Phoenix, and I will look at my business and say, what do I want to promote that I can teach? And I'll pitch it to the producer. I'll show how to make your own coloring book using family pictures. Here's 3 ways to do it. And she's like, done. Like, yes, we love that idea. So I was able to bring my samples. Here's 4 ways to paint a holiday platter. Number 1, you could just come in, use a stencil. We have plenty. Number 2, trace your design. Number 4, handprints, write the name. So pitch those to your local producers for TV segments. You can look up the show on Instagram and then send them a DM and say, "Hi, I have an idea to pitch for a segment. Who do I pitch to?" And they'll send you, because they're always looking for segments. Here's our morning show producer, send it to her, and then you send it to her. So make use of that free publicity.
Be willing to put
those are
yourself
great
out
leads.
there.
Yeah, those are great leads. That's the kind of thing that I feel like a lot of us don't understand. You having the background in the newspaper, I think that helped you kind of understand what verbiage you needed to kind of get them hooked in. But I didn't
Yes.
even think about going on Instagram and looking up the TV show and then messaging them that way. So smart.
Yes, find those hooks about your business. And that's how I ended up in the New York Times, because I went on Twitter saying how I just couldn't connect with Martha Stewart because a totally different color palette, and I use glitter in a different way. And a reporter saw it, and this is when Martha was in her heyday, and he's like, "Oh, this person is business is thriving because she's doing the opposite of Martha," So find that spin and make use of the free publicity that's out there. Don't be afraid to ask, but the main thing is to have those hooks. A lot of people will say, "Here's my business, it's awesome." As a reporter or a producer, they're going to go, "That's too much work for me to look in and find what the hook is." But if you come out and say, "I have this idea, think of like, okay, 4-minute segment on TV. What can I show to teach someone something in 4 minutes?" And you pitch that. If you have the thing you talked about with the paint it, leave it, that's amazing. Like, to go on and pitch that, people, they would love that. And so just finding those little hooks about your business and about you.
True. We all have a story to tell,
We
so
do, yes. And this is the age of storytelling, because people are tired of the big conglomerate stores. And even today, my kids are like, "What do you want for Christmas, Mom?" And they're all independent businesses. And I'm like, you can't go on Amazon and buy this stuff. Like, I want stuff that's like a gift certificate to an art studio experience, or you know what I mean? Like,
right.
incorporate that into your offerings.
Yeah.
That's what
You
people
are
are looking
overflowing
for.
with positivity every time I've ever seen you and
Oh,
talked to you.
thank
And I think
you.
that's why people are so drawn to you. But what fuels you? Like, you have to have some time when you're like, okay, I need to like put a little bit of fuel in me. What do you think fuels you?
Um,
what's your
well,
favorite thing?
I have this thing that we all called PCT, personal crafting time. So with all the creative work that I do, it feels every so often I just have to stop and have PCT, my own personal crafting time. And that's when I'll work on my junk journal. And I don't take pictures or video, anything. I just enjoy the process of creating. Of course, I'll also have just relax and watch TV, or I'll go on excursions in the city and go visit boutiques. I'm working on a new fabric collection that I'm designing. So
Ooh.
a couple weeks ago, I went out with the sales rep and we visited all these different fabric shops, quilt shops,
Wow.
so that I could see what they have. I could see who was making what, watch some shopping patterns of people. It was so inspiring. And I just came back super inspired. So taking little field trips or taking a break, working on my junk journal. And the doing a junk journal is good because you can take the pictures out of your phone and print them out and put them, in your journal, and just put about what was something good that happened to you that day, or something you feel proud of, or just something minuscule like, "My coffee was amazing today." So
I
just
get
making
that.
sure not to get lost in the weeds of it, but taking time to savor the good moments, the life moments. So that's what I do to refuel when I need it.
I totally get that. When I travel, I always stop and paint your old pottery studios. My family's always like, "You own one." I'm like, I
Yes.
know, but I don't get to like just joyfully paint without thinking of the monetization of it.
Yes.
Like, I totally
Yeah.
love going someplace and sitting down and just painting and not have to think
Yes.
about often.
just
I'm gonna look
like
at this.
being
How
a
can I make money
regular
off this?
customer and
Yeah,
seeing
it's
the
great. 'Cause,
experience from the
yeah.
other side. Yeah, it's super helpful.
Feel like a juggler at your ceramic studio? Between classes, bookings, and admin tasks, those pins keep flying. Let Occasion help you put down the act and get back to creating. Visit occasion.act to discover your peace of mind.
That's a wrap. I'm Des Toll from Biscuit Imports, here to remind you that better brushes are finally here. The Emerald paintbrushes are built tough with a silky smooth touch, delivering quality paint strokes time and time again. Shop now at biscuitimports.com. Thanks for listening.
Looking to sharpen your skills or learn new techniques to enhance your studio offerings? A CCSA membership has you covered. With exclusive access to educational webinars, training programs, and hands-on workshops, you'll stay ahead of industry trends and keep your creativity flowing. Whether it's improving your business operations or mastering the latest pottery techniques, the CCSA is here to support your growth. Join the community of like-minded studio owners and take advantage of these incredible learning opportunities. Visit ccsaonline.com and become a member today.
Well, Kathy, this has been a really fantastic conversation,
Always.
but we're coming to the end of our time. Do you want to add anything else?
No, just thank you so much for having me. And you can visit craftychica.com, sign up for the newsletter.
I'm going to.
And one of my goals for 2026 is to create a sub newsletter for PYOP.
Oh,
And
awesome.
that's
We'll
all
love that.
about
Yes.
samples and just helpful things that people can use to, encourage studio owners to buy Crafty Chica bisque and to show all the different things they can do with it. So that's one of my goals for 2026 is to get that rolling.
I look forward to that. That's great.
Oh, that's
Thank
gonna be awesome.
you.
Are we going to see you at Ceramic Jam, Pottery Camp, anywhere in
Yes,
person anytime
I
soon?
will be at Ceramic Jam in March.
Great.
And
Yes.
I'm also doing this other one in Las Vegas that's in January. And I want to say it's IAC, International Association of Ceramics, maybe.
Huh.
But I'm showing a really fun fusing project there. And I know Mako is there and some other companies will be there. So yeah, that's in January. Then Ceramic Jam is in March.
Cool.
So fun.
Well, we'll see you then.
Great.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Glazed Over is brought to you by the CCSA, the Contemporary Ceramic Studios Association. Thank you to our moderators, Jessica Cowan and Vanessa Steele. Editing by Scott Lester. Executive production by Vicki DeWorth. Learn more about becoming a member at ccsaonline.com.